Let me ask you something real. Why is it that a 24-year-old woman can walk right past a guy her age and end up staring at a man twice as old, quietly wondering, why does he feel so different? Here's the truth most men never hear. Younger women don't crave youth. They crave energy. They crave presence. They crave a man who knows who the hell he is and doesn't need validation to prove it. Most older men miss this. They think being older makes them less appealing. Nah. It's not the age that turns her off. It's the way you carry it. Because when a man owns his years like armor, instead of hiding behind them, he becomes magnetic. And today, I'll show you exactly what younger women crave most in older men, and why it's not what you think. So if you're over 30, 40, or even 50, and you've ever felt invisible to younger women, stay here. Because after this video, you'll never see yourself the same way again. 1. The calm energy that feels like safety. You ever notice how the loudest guy in the room usually gets ignored? He's the one trying too hard, talking over everyone, laughing too loud, thinking that noise equals attention. But here's the twist. Younger women rarely fall for that kind of energy. What pulls them in is the opposite. A calm man who carries himself like he's already seen life from every angle, and nothing surprises him anymore. There's something magnetic about stillness. The kind that says, I've been through enough to know what matters and what doesn't. When you walk into a room, you don't need to announce yourself. Your silence does it for you. That calm presence makes her curious. It makes her feel something she can't quite explain. Safe. Most younger guys don't have this yet. They talk fast, text too much, chase validation like it's oxygen. But an older man, when he's grounded, carries peace in his eyes. He's not fidgeting, not rushing, not competing for space. He's just there, fully present. And that energy speaks louder than any pickup line ever could. Think about it. When a woman is around a man who's steady, her nervous system relaxes. She stops performing. Her tone softens. She opens up. That's biology, not magic. Because safety isn't just about protection, it's about emotional steadiness. And that's what younger women crave. Not someone who fixes their problems, but someone who doesn't become one. A man who can listen without interrupting, who can handle her emotions without losing control of his own. That's real power. So next time you're on a date or just talking to someone younger, don't overthink your words. Don't rush to impress. Let her feel your calm. Take your time. Speak slow. Hold eye contact. Smile with ease. You don't need to fill the silence. Own it. When you master this kind of energy, you stop chasing attention. You start commanding it. Because peace is rare, calmness is rare, and that's exactly what younger women crave. Not because you're older, but because you're centered. 2. The subtle confidence that doesn't ask for approval. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. One demands attention, the other earns it without saying a word. And younger women can feel that difference instantly. Confidence isn't about loud talk or showing off. It's the quiet energy that says, I'm good with myself. It's how you sit, how you listen, how you react when things don't go your way. That stillness, that unshakable self-belief, is the very thing younger women can't resist in older men. See, younger guys often try to prove their worth. They brag about achievements, drop names, overcompensate for insecurity. But older men who've truly lived don't need to prove anything. They've been broken, rebuilt, and learned that validation doesn't come from applause. It comes from inner peace. When you speak to a woman, she can sense if you're seeking approval or if you're simply sharing your truth. And that difference changes everything. You don't have to win her over. You just have to be. She'll notice how you don't rush to fill silences, how you don't react to her teasing with defensiveness, how you can smile through tension without losing composure. That quiet assurance draws her in, because it's rare. Confidence isn't about being the best man in the room. It's about being the most comfortable one. When you're at ease with yourself, you give her permission to relax too. That's when attraction starts to form. Not from chasing, but from emotional resonance. So don't tell her you're confident. Don't talk about success or strength. Let it leak through your body language. Walk slow, speak with certainty, and never rush to explain yourself. A confident man doesn't justify his choices, he stands by them. Remember this. Younger women aren't looking for perfection, they're looking for stability, and a man who doesn't need approval already owns the kind of strength she can't help but crave. 3. Emotional control. The silent power. You can be tall, handsome, successful. But if you lose your temper easily, all that goes out the window. Younger women don't admire chaos, they admire control. Emotional control is the secret language of high-status masculinity. Here's the thing, women, especially younger ones, subconsciously test men. They want to see how grounded you are. They might challenge your opinion, get distant, or even act cold just to feel your reaction. Most men either blow up or back off, but the older man who stays calm, that's the one who stands out. She might say something sharp to see if she can throw you off. Don't bite. Smile. Take your time before responding. Your calmness says, I'm not reacting to your storm. I am the calm in it, and that right there, that's attraction. Because emotional control shows strength. It shows you've been through enough to understand that people's moods aren't personal. It's maturity disguised as mystery. Younger guys often mistake dominance for control. They get louder when they should get quieter. But real dominance isn't about overpowering her. It's about staying unshaken. When you can keep your composure under pressure, she feels safe. And that safety builds trust. Think of it like this. When she's emotional, don't fix her. Don't fight her. Just feel steady. That's how women measure masculine energy, by seeing if you bend or break. The man who doesn't lose himself earns her respect first, and then her attraction. So next time you feel triggered, pause, breathe. Don't respond instantly. That moment of silence isn't weakness, it's power. Because in a world full of emotional noise, the man who stays calm becomes unforgettable. 4. Experience that speaks without words. You've lived enough to have scars, not just the kind people see, but the ones that taught you patience, silence, and strength. And whether you know it or not, that experience is what younger women notice first. When you talk, they hear depth. When you listen, they feel seen. You don't talk to impress, you speak with understanding. That comes only from years of living, failing, and growing. Younger men rush through life chasing excitement, but older men, they've learned to enjoy peace. And that peace is what makes you stand out. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. She can feel it when you talk about life with humility, when you share lessons without bragging, when you tell a story and there's weight behind your words. That's what attracts her. Your lived truth. You've been through heartbreak, failure, success, and loss. You've seen life without filters. That's what gives your presence a different energy. It's wisdom, but not the preachy kind. It's quiet awareness. When she's around that kind of man, she feels she can learn, not just about life, but about herself. That's why experience is sexy. It's not about what you've done, but what it's turned you into. So stop downplaying your story. Don't hide your age or your past. Own it. Let it speak through your composure, your patience, and your confidence, because real experience doesn't need to shout. It whispers, and people lean in to hear it. 5. Masculine playfulness, the hidden magnet. Here's where most older men go wrong. They think being mature means being serious all the time. But women, Even younger ones don't want a man who's just wise. They want one who's alive. Playfulness is that spark that keeps everything light, flirty, and unpredictable. And when it comes from a grounded man, it's twice as powerful. A teasing grin, a witty comeback, a playful nickname. These little things show that you're comfortable in your own skin. You're not afraid to be fun. See, women are emotional creatures. They connect through feelings, not facts. When you make her laugh, you make her feel. That's what builds chemistry, not your resume or your achievements. But here's the key. Your playfulness shouldn't come from insecurity. It should come from confidence. You're not joking to get attention. You're doing it because you enjoy the moment. That energy says, I'm mature enough to lead, but free enough to play. And that combination, strength with lightness, is rare. So don't hold back your humor. Tease her a little. Say things that make her blush. Show that you're both stable and spontaneous. That's how you stand out. Because the truth is, no matter how beautiful she is, she's still human. She still wants to laugh, to feel seen, to be around a man who brings warmth instead of tension. And that, my friend, is the secret magnetism of masculine playfulness. It turns ordinary moments into connection. 6. Direction, the most underrated. Turn-on younger women are drawn to men with direction. Not necessarily rich men, not perfect men, but men who know where they're going. Purpose is masculine energy in motion. It's the difference between drifting and leading. When you have a clear path, even a simple one, it gives off strength. Younger women find that deeply attractive because it means you're not lost. You're not waiting for life to happen, you're steering it. That focus makes her feel she can trust you. See, a man with direction doesn't need to prove himself. His actions already show it. How he wakes up, how he carries himself, how he talks about his future. There's conviction in his tone, and that conviction makes her lean in. It's not about being successful, it's about being centered. You could be rebuilding, you could be learning, but as long as you're moving with intention, she'll feel it. That's what makes her crave your energy, because direction equals safety, and safety equals attraction. So, take pride in your mission, no matter how small. Speak about it with quiet fire. Don't try to impress her, just be about something. That's how you separate yourself from the noise, because in the end, younger women don't crave money or youth. They crave clarity, and nothing is more magnetic than a man who knows who he is and where he's going. So here's the truth most men never hear. You don't have to chase youth to be desired. You just have to own your masculinity. Younger women don't crave your age, they crave your energy. The calm, the confidence, the grounded leadership that only comes from living long enough to understand what really matters. You see, when you stop apologizing for your years, something shifts. Your presence becomes heavier, quieter, magnetic, and that's when attraction stops being about looks. It becomes about essence, because the man who knows who he is, the man who moves with quiet purpose, who doesn't flinch under pressure, he becomes the kind of man women remember, not because he's loud, but because he's rare. So, if this video hit something inside you, hit that like button. Not for the algorithm, but as a reminder that being older isn't a weakness, it's your edge. Subscribe for more real, unfiltered psychology from Behavior Insight, where we don't talk fluff, we talk truth. And remember, she doesn't want your youth. She wants your calm certainty. She wants the man who doesn't chase. She wants the man who stands still and lets her come closer. Stay grounded, stay masculine, and I'll see you in the next one.